Good morning, AYS and AYS family. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you this morning. You know, when you say something for so long, you say, welcome tonight, and you talk about the show tonight, and then you finally do a morning show, you get out of your rhythm. But nevertheless, we're getting better. You remember last year? You remember last year when we did the Saturday morning show? Every single morning, I would say, "What's going on, guys? How's your night going?" Nevertheless, we're having a good morning. It's going to be a good show. On daddy duty this morning. On daddy duty, but it's okay because we have a relaxed show here on Saturday mornings. We talk about a lot. Pretty much it's just us, me and you talking. Let's talk some LSU. Let's talk some SEC. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some basketball, baseball, Super Bowl, whatever. We do that this morning. But there is some key points that we got to make, at least this morning, as LSU announced some huge news during this week, as LSU will be receiving in one calendar year for LSU athletics close to $162 million. The SEC giving over with the television deal with ESPN and others over $54 million. LSU getting over $23 million in COVID relief. And then they get the $85 million because, like Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward, and William Tate IV said, they have complete alignment at LSU. So we'll talk about that, talk about the impacts of just how much that means. And not everything is money related. Not everything is money related. However, we will talk about that. LSU versus Mississippi State this morning. We'll talk about a breakdown. LSU with another must-win game today. And we'll talk on that. LSU baseball is around the corner. We'll talk on that. And Joe Burrow. I know there's more players from LSU in the Super Bowl, but it's just hard for me to go against Joey B, man. Hard for me to go against Joey B. And then like we do on Saturdays, everybody fire in your questions, hashtag Ask Blake, and then we'll get started. But, how did you get this? How did you get ice cream? You got ice cream? Okay. Do you want to go get your pad and come sit right here and eat your ice cream? Look, Daddy will put your ice cream right here. Go get pad. Go get your iPad. Okay. So I do have a little co-host this morning. Ben's going to be with us. How he got some ice cream, I do not know. Roderick says, good morning, fellas. Tracy says, how is baby Ben? He's good. He's good. He's going to be with us all morning. He's going to be with us all morning long. Close the door, buddy. All right, come here. There you go, man. Go close the door. Come sit right here, buddy. Here's your ice cream. Oh, but they love you more than they love me. You know that, right? And that's the truth. Ryan Gidry says, let's go. He had some issues. Ryan, I have no idea how you got blocked on AYS, dude. No idea. Jack Davis says, another Super Bowl, another LSU takeover. It does seem that way. Delton always says this inside the YouTube chat. He says, my body, or she, whoever, says, my body is ready. Okay, that's very interesting. Delton, you're going to have to explain what your body is ready for. What is your body ready for? Ray Powell says, good morning, and let's go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we do have a lot to get into, so let's do this. Let's pay some bills very quickly. And then we'll get rolling. Fire in all of your questions, chats, hashtag Ask Blake, and inside the Rudy Crew chat. Do us a favor if you're on Facebook by hitting the like and share. Let's get us over 200 this morning. Everybody hit the like button, hit the share. Share to some Facebook groups. Share to your own social media pages. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. If you're listening to us on YouTube this morning, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Hit the like button as well. Hit the like button. And we would greatly appreciate that. So let's do that. Oh, if you're listening to us on the audio podcast platform too, rate, subscribe. Please rate us a 5-star. It helps us get more into the top of the podcasts realm. So everybody that's listening to us on the audio podcast, and there's a lot of you, the ratings aren't showing or the star ratings necessarily aren't showing all of you that listen. So everybody do it right now. Hit the 5-star for us. None better than our good friends over at betonline.ag and NordVPN. Guys, big Super Bowl weekend this weekend. If you want to play some bets, the only place and the best place to do it is betonline.ag. Whip out your mobile device at the end of the show. Sign up today by using the Believe Podcast tab. That way that Believe will know it is from us. It's from AYS in the state of Louisiana. And that they will know, and they'll be able to give you the 50% welcome bonus. It's betonline.ag. If you want to bet against Joe Burrow, live bets, all of that great stuff, you go over to betonline.ag to do that. Again, it's betonline.ag, betonline.ag, and our good friends over at NordVPN. Guys, I got to tell you, I didn't really know or even think or even fathom the the calmness I would have once us over at AYS switched over to more NordVPN. It's a peace of mind for everything that we're doing. We're currently doing a live stream, and it's helped by NordVPN. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity to the most servers and the most next-gen tech around. So make sure you go over to NordVPN today. Use the Believe tab, BLEAV, to set up 70% off your first NordVPN plan. Plus, one additional month will be for free. It's also risk-free and the Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. NordVPN, guys. It's NordVPN. All right, what happened, buddy? It's okay. Just leave it there. Just leave it there, buddy. There's your spoon. Never give a 2-year-old ice cream, but man, he doesn't do anything other than want to eat ice cream. Delton says Triple B in the house. Who's Triple B? Pooh Bear says shout out to the Lady Softball Tigers. Yes, huge game yesterday. Give it up to Beth Torina, man. Maybe they could make it a little bit further this year, but they always have a good, solid team, man. Always a good, solid team. Shannon Williams says, hey, Ben. He says hello. Say, hey, Miss Shannon. Richard on Facebook says, Walker Howard in North LA doing some NIL work today. Yep. Look, and we can get into this. We can get into this because it's going to be a little bit apart about what I was going to talk about this morning in reference to alignment, right, and what everything LSU's doing with alignment and how they're setting things up. And look, Walker Howard's going to make a lot of money through name, image, and likeness because he is a 5-star quarterback at LSU, Louisiana kid. Come on. But I do want to say this before we get to all these comments. If you missed it this week, it was announced that LSU would be granted $54 million from the SEC, mostly of that coming from the TV deals that they're a part of, ESPN. And now, when you have that large of money, now you see why teams like Texas and Oklahoma want to come into the conference. But it's something that we're starting to see the actions behind the words of Scott Woodward, William Tate IV, the president of LSU, and Brian Kelly. Now, you also have heard guys like Jay Johnson and Kim Mulkey talk about that, but not to the magnitude of what Brian Kelly and the football team has alluded to when it comes to alignment. Now, if you missed earlier in the show this morning, LSU was granted the $54 million from the SEC. They were also granted $23 million during COVID for COVID relief. So in 1 year, the SEC has given LSU over $77 million to be a part of their conference. Now, it doesn't matter if you're Vanderbilt, or it doesn't matter if you're Alabama or you're LSU. You're receiving that money from being in the conference. But something interesting happened yesterday in a press release is that LSU is going to be going to and pushing forward to cancer research through Our Lady of the Lake. Now, it's a big day for LSU, giving over $200 million, but $85 of that $1 million is going to be allocated and used for LSU athletics. So now you have a situation where in one calendar year, and how they're going to probably put it, it might take a little bit longer than one calendar year, but regardless, LSU is going to be receiving from an athletic standpoint close to $85 million. And the funny thing about this to me is this. The funny thing to me about that is this. Is I understand that we keep talking about NIL. We keep talking about the transfer portal. We keep talking about a lot of things. But we never really talk about what these universities and these schools make and what they put forward to. Now, the $162 million, guys, that's a lot of money. We got to stop saying, oh, well, they just got paid over $100 million. Guys, it's a lot of money. And yet we're worried about name, image, and likeness is killing the game. No, you know what technically starts all of this? When you're giving this much money to a program for their athletics. And when you make it a business, kids are also going to make it a business. Let's not get that twisted. So of the $54 million of the TV deal that ESPN and others give LSU, you're not going to like me saying this, but there should be probably a little bit more. No, I'm not even going to go there because people will get mad and we'll start debating. And regardless, guys, it's $54 million on what the student athletes do. You can talk about tuition, food, room, board, whatever. I understand that. That's $54 million. So regardless of how you want to slice it, it just seems to me that and it's funny to me that our biggest complaint and topic around college athletics is name, image, and likeness, but we never talk about how much money these schools make on any given year, right? Now, let's flip it to the other side. This is starting from a football perspective. From a football perspective, guys, this is starting to look a lot like something we saw in the early 2000s. It's starting to look like a lot like what we saw when Nick Saban became the head coach of LSU. And I don't know what or why LSU was doing some of the things that maybe they'd been doing before, but maybe it's because they didn't have the athletic director in Scott Woodward to be able to pull some of these things off. But and not just only that, but a president like William Tate IV. Guys, it has been known and proven and shown that William Tate IV wants athletics at LSU to succeed at a very high level. Yesterday, he calls it the face of the program, the face of LSU. We want to win championships. We want to win in the classroom. We want to win everywhere. We want to win in cancer research. We want to win everywhere. Guys, when you have that buy-in on all levels, Ben, stop, buddy. Come over here. Get out from under the table. Go. Hold on, guys. Ben, stop, buddy. Come on. Get out from underneath the table. Go get your ice cream. Go eat your ice cream. Go, buddy. When you have that alignment and buy-in from the top, you, especially from a financial commitment, you will start winning a lot. And LSU's already winning. LSU's already winning. So for that alone, the amount of $162 million, guys, that's in one calendar year. That's not something that's a one-time just plop down. Anyway, Pooh Bear says, I'll say it at last, $3 million should go to student athletes. Well, look, look, we could talk about that, Pooh, and I don't disagree with you. I don't think you could do it $3 million per athlete, but what I'm going to correlate is this. I think it's just funny that, we do these Twitter spaces. We come on here and have to talk about NIL, and we have to come on here because it's an outrage about looking at another man's money. But God forbid LSU get that much money in one calendar year, and we don't bat an eye. Because when it's an institution that gets it, it's okay. But when an individual gets money, it's like the old. Well, I'm going to leave that part alone. But we start losing our minds, and we want to start money chasing that one specific individual. Anyway, Rob since this hashtag asked, like, when and where is it appropriate to say my body is ready? I really don't know. I really don't know. So Delton, I don't know. Tracy Poole says ice cream for breakfast sounds good to me. Well, if normally what happens is Ben will go in and just open the fridge and he'll do it. So there's not a lot I could do to stop it. And what am I going to do? I'm going to stop him from eating it once he's like 4 bites in. See, he never comes to me when he's the first bite in. He always comes when he's like 5 or 6 or 7 bites in. So I can't stop the man. Fred Jackson says, any surprise SEC teams next year? And what sport? Because, I mean, yeah, there's going to be surprise teams in every sport, but which one are you specifically talking about? If we're talking football, I don't know if Tennessee would be a surprise necessarily. But I'm keeping my eyes on Tennessee. You know who I think is going to be a surprise too for a lot of people? Look, what's South Carolina about to do, man? From a football perspective. So we'll see there. Pooh Bear says it's an AYS spinoff. It's the Blake and Ben's morning show. We can do that. I like that. Anthony Mitchell says, I'm calling 247 on Monday, getting all of our guys changed to 5 stars. Go Tigers. Well, good luck. They're going to just tell you no. And they're probably going to tell you that their guys haven't been here. They're scouts. You know how nuts that is? That their scouts haven't even been inside the state of Louisiana. But Aaron Anderson can jump up 400 spots, right? Cedric says, good morning, Blake Ruffino. Good morning, Cedric. Good morning. Todd Boudreaux sends us some stars via Facebook. Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate it. Joseph says, good morning, Blake. Good morning, sir. Nurse Court says, I bet OU is sure wishing they got in on that. Well, it's gonna be even more, right? It's gonna be even more. It's gonna be I mean, the $54 million is a lot of money, but guys, I mean, a lot of this, more than half of this is tied into the university and what the university go throw it away, buddy. Go throw it away. More of it's tied into what the university's giving LSU more than anything. I mean, guys, they're allocating 85. Go throw it away, bud. Is allocating over $85 million to the school, to athletics. And that's coming from William Tate. Pull. Hold on, guys. There you go. No, leave the door open. There you go. There you go. Nope, stop. Man, stop it. All right. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com says, good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? C. King says, meanwhile, the NCAA is still getting off scot-free. They are getting off scot-free. But again, we're making a bigger deal about all of this and kids' NIL money. So I don't even I mean, I don't really understand what the big deal is. I mean, we don't talk about it. Like yesterday, none of us talked about the NIL deals. I mean, it talked about LSU and how much money that they're spending, but we're freaking out about, name, image, and likeness and Walker Howard and this kid and that kid. Jason Weather says every student received $1,100 for COVID relief this semester. That sounds good. Let's say if you have 200 athletes, let's just say you have 350 athletes, times $1,500 in COVID relief. That's $500,000. They just got $54 million from the SEC. What, buddy? You did it? All right, let's wipe your mouth, bud. You got ice cream all over it. There you go, man. You did it? You threw it away? Good job, man. So $500,000 means nothing to when you have a program making 54. I mean, that's the best deal of all time. I mean, Jerry Jones isn't making $54 million and only has to pay $5 million, $6 million, even $10 million for a profit share or anything like that to pay his roster. Now they're making more than that, and so is LSU. LSU's making more than $54 million a year. Ant Marshall says South Carolina is his surprise team. Leave the door open, Ben. I agree with that. Delton says, LOL. It just means I'm ready to get this thing started. Yeah, I think it's freaking some people out, my guy. I get more people asking me about your saying that your body's ready than anything. What? You want what? You want green? Yeah. Okay. Hey, do not color this on the carpet and leave the door open. Todd Boudreaux says PMAC renovations or a new arena, invest in the future. Yeah, I mean, you can do stuff like that. Leave it open, buddy. No, don't close the door. Go play. Go play. But yeah, I agree. You got to invest. Chris English says, call it coffee and ice cream with Blake and Ben. We could do that. Cake and coffee and ice cream. Chris Barnhill says LSU is picked fourth in the West in baseball. We're going to surprise some people. I don't disagree with you there, Chris. I don't disagree with you at all. But I think we need to see what happens with LSU's pitching staff. How are they gonna start off the rotation? Where do you put Mikael Hilliard? Where do you put Fontenot? Who's gonna be your third weekend guy? What are you gonna look like out of the bullpen? How much do you rely on guys like Blake Money? But man, you know what's crazy? And you say something like this, and people start freaking out too. The SEC West in baseball is the deepest division in all of college sports. It is. Think about this. You have 6 SEC West teams ranked in the top maybe 12 or 14. Think about this. Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Hold on. Arkansas, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. God, why am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting? Or is it 4? I'm forgetting somebody. Y'all help me out there. Who am I forgetting in the SEC West that's ranked? Auburn's not ranked. Alabama's not ranked and that high. Maybe I shouldn't say the West. I mean, even if you don't say the West and you talk about the 14 teams in the SEC, I mean, you still got Tennessee, you still got Vanderbilt, you still got Florida. Trying to think. A&M's not in the top 12, but regardless, I thought it was 6. Maybe I'm thinking of 6 in the SEC, but nevertheless, still. Ant Marshall says, #Ask Blake, what the basketball team going to do today? I don't, I think, Ant, quite honestly, these next couple of games are like must wins, bro. Like these next couple of games are must win games. No stretch of the imagination. They got to win today. They got to get to 500 in the conference. Look, if they're able to shoot as well as they did in the first half against Texas A&M, then good. But Mississippi State's a better team than Texas A&M, and they struggled in the second half, guys. If LSU doesn't hit those 7 threes in the first half, they lose. If they're gonna be hot, they're gonna have to stay hot from shooting the ball. Father Abear says, good morning, Blake. Today I'm going to the baseball scrimmage and the basketball game. I'm a free man today. I love it, Father Abear. I love it. Bob and Irene says, good morning from Arizona. Good morning. Ant says, what's up, nurse? I'm on my second coffee myself. Yeah, I'm assuming you guys had a late night. I woke up this morning. You guys were still You were still there. Chance says SEC West is loaded in baseball. They're loaded. Henry Bennett says, good morning, Blake. Do you find it strange that Kelly hasn't done one single public speaking since he was hired? That's not true. It's not true. He's done multiple. The baseball coach has put himself out there to whoever will listen. I just find it odd. Go Tigers. No. I mean, and that's what the media is at least the local media is freaking out about, like saying, hey, come out here and speak for National Signing Day. But he's done multiple public speaking engagements. Now, not a lot, but guys, quite honestly, I'm just not going to freak out about him not speaking. It's what's crazy to me is we were begging for Orgeron to shut up. Like Ed, please shut up from media availabilities. And you get a coach that then comes in here and doesn't speak. At some point, we got to just calm down a little bit. I can't believe that I have to come out here and defend our new head coach when the only thing that he's done really so far is go from the 40th in recruiting to number 6. So what? He's not speaking yet. Golly, man. Golly. It really just bugs the mess out of me, man. Look, eventually he's going to have to come out and speak, and that sounds good. Guys, they're not done with the recruiting class. I mentioned this Monday. And now, Friday, some of the recruiting services are talking about it. But Monday, guys, I told you that LSU wasn't done recruiting on the offensive line. And Friday, when I mentioned again, Blake stole this from somebody. The hell I did. Guys, we did a segment on it Monday for the Monday show. The hell you talking about? God, man, let him finish the recruiting class and get his staff in here. You got Matt House that literally was just in a playoff game, probably coming in. Let him settle in. Let him talk to the guys. Let him talk to recruits, and then they'll get going. Bro, calm down. This isn't just whoever just asked that question. I forget who asked that question. It's not on you. But my God. Oh, God, please. Sweet baby Jesus. That's how I hear it. Thank you. Robert updated us on the rankings in the West. But so then you got Vandy, Tennessee, that Florida, Georgia ranked. We'll see. Dorian says get ready for the return of Gorilla Ball. Yeah, that sounds good, but if you can't pitch, you're gonna get beat too. I mean, guys, they don't have a traditional number one guy, like just a loaded, like a guy that can go out there and win you a game on Friday night. Now, Fontenot could do it, but I mean, is he a starting pitcher? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what if Mikael Hilliard comes in here and does some good stuff? Maybe he's your number one guy. I don't know that, but you don't have right now, at least of what we've seen. Do you trust Ty Floyd? I mean, I'm not gonna trust Ty Floyd right now. Tracy says Tracy Poole says Tommy did an impression of you whining this morning, Blake. Who's Tommy? Talking about Tommy Poole. Harold Woods says hashtag ask Blake, is center or tight end the most pressing needs? Yeah. I mean, I would say tight end, but everybody keeps talking about center. But again, Harold, and we've talked about this in these spaces. I don't know if we need a traditional center. Okay, well, what's a traditional center? What's a traditional center? Now, if there's one that's out there, sure. If there's one that's out there, sure. But tight end's the most complete, most pressing need. It's not center. It's not center. Not for what they're planning to do. Again, I can continue to say that, but it goes in one ear and out the other. What do you do with a guy like Gary Dellinger? What do you do with what do you do with Charles Turner? What do you do with Marlon Martinez? I think that those guys can play center. Now, again, if there's somebody out there, then you do it, but it's not as pressing need as everybody's making it out to be, in my opinion. Can they make the calls? And look, if you go through spring and the guys can't make those calls, then yes. But let's see what Brad Davis can come up with. Here's another thing, too. Why do you think Brad Davis wasn't pushing for a center out of the portal? Guys, guys can go into guys are in the portal all the time, guys that can play center and that had played center, and LSU didn't go after them, which means to tell me that they have something in their mind about who they want to play center. I trust Brad Davis on it more than somebody, more than most. So everybody do us a favor, hit the like and share. We do have Super Bowl week too. We got to get to it. Brandon says BK has a lot to work to do. He doesn't need to spend time talking with the media at this point. Well, he's going to have to, but I just don't understand why there's I don't know. Carlton Reed says, why is someone so worried about a coach talking? Man, you can never speak as long as you're winning and recruiting as well. I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a coach. Yeah. I mean, look, and here's what I think the media doesn't understand. I mean, guys, look how many comments we have flying in about saying, I don't care about Brian Kelly speaking. I mean, they're making it more of a big deal than what they're perceiving in their heads about it being a big deal. I mean, every time we talk about this, there's hundreds of comments that start flying in here about Brian Kelly, and he doesn't need to do it, and he doesn't need to do this, he doesn't need to do that, and I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I agree. That part I just don't understand. Let's see here. Jerome Landry says Brian Kelly is going to let the work do the talking, not talk his work. Yeah. Danny Girl says BK is being very strategic with everything. I am sure he has warned about LSU local media and being very strategic about that as well. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's already heard them. I mean, there's really not a lot, guys. What's crazy is name something positive that you're hearing. I don't want to hear about a small little segment from somebody, but the vibe around Brian Kelly is not a positive one, and he hasn't done anything wrong. Guys, dancing and putting yourself out there and being awkward is nothing wrong with that. Like, versus some of the things that Orgeron did that was wrong. The dude's dancing. Benjamin, stop. Anyway, Jack Davis says, can Nola or Lane come back? Yeah, I wish. Ben, stop it. Now. I don't know if y'all hear it, but he's just sitting there slamming the door. Mason Smith is, yes. Danny Girl says, I humbly disagree, Blake. I actually don't trust Brad Davis on the center thing because he had Liam pushed into a quarterback all season. Danny, that's just not true. Danny, I'm sorry, but it's just not true. And no change was made. All due respect, Blake. No, Danny, that's not true. It wasn't all season long. Not every play that he was getting pushed back. It's just, I don't mean that to be the wrong way. It's just not true. And what do you mean Brad Davis didn't recruit a center? Meaning he came in and Liam Shanahan was already there and the recruiting process was over with. I mean, there's not a lot he had to work with. But what I would say is that I believe that because they haven't gone after a center in the portal means that they believe that they had somebody already on their roster that they could do it, that they're okay with. All right, let's get to a couple more. Ray Powell says actions speak louder than words. Get ready to compete. I love it. Guys, fire in who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl? Give me a score prediction. What is your score prediction for the Super Bowl? Do it. Look, there's games that you go about, by the way, that doesn't make a lot of logical sense. Meaning, like if you're going by paper and by what's going on, stop slamming the door. I understand. Stop slamming the door. What do you need, buddy? Mama's coming back in a minute. You got marker on your face. All right, Daddy's gonna wrap the show up soon, okay? There's a lot of things sometimes too that happen in sports that you can't this is Daddy's. Here, this is yours. That you just can't explain. Like the Rams have a better overall roster than the Bengals. But they got Joe Burrow. It's wet. Yeah, water is wet, buddy. Water is wet. Let's put the top on your thing. So yeah. I'm not picking against. All right, we'll drink it. I'm not picking against Burrow though. There's no way. Joe Burrow. Don't spill the water. Brandy Blake says Bengals 34-28. Jack Davis says Bengals 31-28. Pooh Bear says Bengals 27-24. Robert Plaisant says 27-24 Bengals by 3. Holden Lee says 24-27 Rams. Yeah. Greg Dyke says I don't care about public speaking, just win games. All right. We got a lot of Bengals in here. Shane Bullock says 35-31 Cincinnati. Kyle says is water wet though. I mean, come on, man. You can't confuse a 2-year-old. He drank some of the water and he said, "Daddy, it's wet." Come on, bro. Come on. You got a car, man? Yeah, I'm not picking against Joe, bro. There's no way. There's just no way. Derek Street says because they make their money off of the rumors and clickbait. Yeah. People call me clickbaity. I'm like, bro, how can I clickbait when I don't write articles? Ray Powell says actions speak louder than words. Yeah, I got to that one. Okay. Look, guys, we're going to wrap it up a little bit early this Saturday morning. We're probably going to do a pregame show tomorrow, do another episode. But just because we're on daddy duty, we got some things that we need to do. Guys, y'all have a great day. We'll see you all soon. Sorry we cut it a little bit short, but we just got a lot we have going on. Until then, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll do some Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. Y'all have a good day. Peace out, Girl Scouts.